All right, I have actually started the recording, and thank you guys so much for joining me today. Our core skills is going to be on booking trunk shows at trunk shows, and I'm really passionate about this because I think that when we go out of the house and go spend 2 hours doing a trunk show for somebody, many of us are people who are juggling many things, whether you have children, whether you have children and you work outside the home, whether you don't have children and you work outside the home and you're super involved in the community. Like, when you take some time to be at a trunk show and you work really hard to book that trunk show, you want to make the most of it. So it's not just about the sales, it's about the connections that you make with the people there. And quite frankly, like, I want to get it all done at the trunk show. I want to book trunk shows at the trunk show. I want a hostess post at this trunk show. I want to give my hostess packet to my hostess. Like, I literally want to do as much as I can at that trunk show so that I don't have to do more when I get home. And then when I'm home, I can really focus on value added and important activities that are money-making activities, like calling people to follow up and book more trunk shows and having sponsoring conversations and coaching my team, which is really important to me. So I'm not really into having to do a lot of admin when I'm at home. And so this is a big thing. And I think that just like booking trunk shows from scratch is not something that we know how to do inherently. It is something that we learn to do over time, and you have to actually practice it and work at it and keep refining it. It's the same thing when it comes to booking trunk shows at trunk shows. You know, there's a video, there used to be, it could be under a different name, but there was a video about this that Danielle did, and she used to call it like booking with the assumptive close, or booking with the confident close. So if you see a video like that in the resources in Stellarverse, definitely watch it, because it's really good. It's very effective, and it's how I learned how to do this first. But since then, I have thought very hard about, okay, if I had to distill this to my team, if I had to share with my team kind of like the key points, is it just about what you do when you're selling to people? And I don't think so. So I think there's you know me, I like to figure out why people do the things that they do, and then I want to educate them on it and give them the reasons why it's good for them. So it's kind of like the same thing when it comes to booking at a trunk show. So I have all these steps that I think are important before you even get to the booking at the trunk show. So I hope you've got your pen and paper ready. And then if you have any questions at any time, stop me. That's what a Zoom is for. So you can see my face and say, whoa, and wave your hand and tell me, I have a question. So the first thing about booking trunk shows at trunk shows is the same thing as making a sale, and it's the same thing about sponsoring. Like, you have to earn the right to do business with somebody. Really, right from the beginning. So it's your job as a stylist to get everyone comfy and having fun. You've got to bring the energy to the trunk show. So when people have criticism about trunk shows, and Jessica's big on asking people when they say, oh, I went to a trunk show, and when she asks, like, how was it? People don't ever say anything like, oh, the jewelry was ugly, or I thought it was too pricey, or whatever it might be. Like, the feedback that she gets, if it's ever negative, is usually about the stylist. Oh, the stylist wasn't very interactive. She kind of just stood to the side. She didn't really talk to us, or she didn't really engage with us. She just sort of answered questions and took orders. So you want to not be that person, okay? You want to energize, engage with everybody just like you're a guest. Even if I don't want to drink alcohol, if it's an evening one or wherever they're serving alcohol, I will hold a glass if I can. If it's not too crazy already, I'll hold a glass in my hand just so that I will look like I'm one of the guests and I'm hanging out with them. And the biggest thing that I can tell you is stay curious. Curiosity is a hugely important thing for every entrepreneur, but you want to stay curious. So you want to stay curious about your surroundings and stay curious about the people walking in. Be the energizer of the gathering by staying curious. So right now, I want to tell you that what I'm about to share with you is good for your opportunities for all three things: for making sales, for booking trunk shows at that trunk show, and for sponsoring. So how are you going to do that and increase your opportunity in all those areas? By asking questions. So the first thing I do is I always greet people, if I can, at the door. And if not, then when they walk in and they've had a chance to say hi to my hostess, I go up and I introduce myself to them. And I say, hey, how do you know the hostess? And that's a great way for me to just break the ice and introduce myself and say, hey, how do you know the hostess? And then my usual follow-up question is, after we've chit-chatted a little bit about how she knows my hostess, And I've also decided, okay, she's a coworker, she's a neighbor, she's a fellow mom at the school, she's from her book club. I am also, I mean, I like pretend for a moment, I am CSI. I'm like totally profiling my guests because I am now mentally, as I'm checking people in, I'm also mentally trying to group them into different social groups. Because if you remember your Power of 4 launch plan, the idea is that you want to book a trunk show with 4 people from 4 different social groups. So I'm going about my trunk show the same way. I am looking at all those people and kind of figuring out all these different social groups because I'm going to go with the person that I have the best chemistry with at the end of the night from that social group. Now, truth be told, I kind of try to offer the opportunity to book a trunk show with every person, but there are going to be the people that I gravitate toward even more and that I love their energy, and they're just the people I start with. So you're categorizing, you're building rapport, and then I ask them, have you been to a trunk show before? And if they tell me yes, then I usually ask the follow-up question, hey, what'd you think of that trunk show? Did you get anything? Tell me what you bought, because I want to get a sense of her style. And I also kind of just want an idea of like, what did she think of that last one? And if she says anything negative, I kind of want to know why. I'm like, oh gosh, tell me about that. Stay curious. Don't be defensive. Don't get worried if somebody doesn't have something nice to say about their previous Stella and Dot experience. Stay curious and ask how, so that you can go above and beyond her expectations and make her experience amazing. So that when somebody asks her next time, she's like, oh my God, that Janine Nicholson, she's my girl. She's my hostess forever and she's my stylist forever because she just like turned my thought process on what this was like upside down. I love it now. So be that girl. Okay. So then this is when people are coming in, but let's say I'm mingling at the wine table or mingling at the jewelry table. I'm just going to ask normal questions that you would ask if you were socializing somebody at a mixer of any kind. But I will also zone in and ask things like, hey, what have you bought in the past if they've been to a trunk show? Or I'll ask like, hey, tell me about your style. How do you spend your days? So if I ask somebody things like, what do you like to do? Or how do you spend your days? You are actually, not only are you showing interest in them, but you're also determining a lot of other things, not just their style, not just making assumptions. If they say they spend their days shuttling their kids back and forth and they're not working, I may then say, oh, wow, you do a lot of things with your kids. How do you normally dress for that kind of stuff? Are you in yoga pants? Are you in jeans with a pullover? Like, you know, what's your everyday mommy style? Right? I'm just engaging and getting to know her more. We can even joke about that. And I might even say, oh my gosh, that was so me. I remember that. And in fact, my kids were at school. I wasn't shuttling them anywhere. And I still stayed in my yoga pants all day long. Thank goodness I started doing Stella and Dot. Now when I go out, I actually love to put on jeans and a top and put on a cardigan or a jacket. And I put on a simple piece of jewelry and I feel so just like pulled together. Right? So it's a way to kind of weave in and plant seeds that will have that person thinking about, well, maybe I should be a Stella and Dot stylist, or, oh, wow, yeah, I want to get out of my yoga pants. I would look so much cuter and more pulled together if I could have that too. So it's just that kind of conversational stuff, and engaging with the person is super important. You have to earn that right to do business, and you actually, frankly speaking, really want that person to be just enamored with you, because people will do anything if they like you. But if they don't like you, forget it. You can't even get past that. So that's like the biggest thing that you're doing all this time is you're doing that. And I guess the real goal is you're approaching that person so that you can build rapport, because you are going to serve them better even as a stylist if you know this information about them. And if you've done this and you've built some rapport, now you've actually earned the right to dig further. So whether your desire is to only sell to them, but if you're only going to sell, then your desire should also be to book trunk shows, because that's how you can do more selling, right? Or if you're interested in actually like seeing what it's like to bring a team member on board and have more fun and share SD joy and, you know, offer the opportunity, again, you're now digging the right to dig further, or earning the right to dig further to see if the opportunity is a fit. But today we are focusing only on booking trunk shows at trunk shows. So let's just assume that there's a fork in the road and one fork leads to sponsoring and the other fork leads to booking trunk shows, and I'm only going to go on the fork that books trunk shows for you. So, so the next step is during the trunk show. So my goal during the trunk show is I always want to do a group hello. But before I get to the group hello, there's no set time. I mean, I try to do the group hello like 30 to 45 minutes into the trunk show, usually 30 if I can, when there's a critical mass. I find that people really arrive late these days, and so it's like maybe even 45 minutes after the trunk show has started is when I do my group hello. So in between that time, there's still a lot of like one-on-one catching up with people, talking to people, getting to know people, and styling people at the table. So if I'm doing individual styling, I want to make sure that I am making a list of what they like. So I always say to people, once I get to know them, I'm like, you know what, before I let you go and get yourself a drink, why don't I get your name and information in here, because we're expecting a lot of people tonight, or whatever it is, it's gonna get a little crazier later. So at least this way, if you see things that you like, I can start to make a list of it all for you, and you don't have to hang on to it, you know, worried that somebody else is gonna grab it from you. So then I get her information put into Dottie, and I create a fake order for her with that 14-inch sterling silver chain, which is at the top of the list. So this way it saves that information as a saved order, and I can go back to that very quickly and very easily as I'm doing individual styling with her later. So during the individual styling, I let her know, I'm like, okay, let's put this on, let's try it. I'm gonna make a list of all the things that you love, we'll decide later. If I'm trying things on for her and she likes it, I'm plunking it in. If she likes something, I'm plunking it in. She just holds it up. But the most important thing is you don't want it to stop there. People do know what they want, okay? Let's face it. I mean, women, we know. But we are also really good at not saying anything until we think we're really gonna buy it. So you wanna put that person at ease and say, look, it's a lot easier for you not to remember all the things that you like if I put it in here. If somebody shows me a necklace, here's the key. I always like to say to them, do you mind if I show you? I love that piece. Because seriously, I think I like 98% of our stuff. So I'm like, I love that piece. I'd love to show you what I wear with it. So when I do that, I'm showing her how to complete the look. I know, so if they show me a necklace, I'm like, these are my favorite earrings to wear with this. And then look, I always do this arm part, right? And I put it on her so that she can admire how it looks on herself. And I'm like, what do you think? And if she likes it, that's fantastic. So of course, I plunk that stuff into her wish list, right? And I even say things like, and I love to wear, and I'll tell her about the clothing I'm wearing, like how I dress with it. Oh, I love to wear it with a pair of jeans cuffed up with a cute pair of booties, and then just kind of like building a style profile for her of how I like to wear it. And then I'll say, like, how were you thinking of wearing it? Now, that question is actually really important too. It's like, well, I showed you mine, now you show me yours. And it's fun, it's making a connection with somebody, and it's like sharing girl talk on style. But the other thing that you're actually doing is you are building an emotional connection for her with that item, so that she's even more vested in wanting it now that she's imagined how she's going to wear it and what in her closet she wants it with, right? It's very much like asking people for help on picking out samples, asking them what they would wear it with. You're just getting them vested and like really emotionally wanting that piece now. So after I do that, and I get her to have this emotional tie with it, I will usually say something like this. Oh my goodness, I really love how this looks on you. This is gonna be a must-have today for sure. And then you know what? The rest of it, those earrings and your bracelets, we can get that arm party and your earrings for you for free when I do a girls get together for you, or when I do a sip and shop for you. And then I end it with a smile and I dash out of there. Okay, it's not that drastic, but I end it with a smile and I walk away and I go help somebody else, because I've literally planted a seed, and I planted it pretty heavily. I didn't ask her if it was going to be okay for me to do a trunk show for her. I didn't ask her, hey, would you like to get this piece today and then get the other things for free if I can come and do a trunk show for you? There's no if I can. There's no would you like. There's no I was wondering if. It is all confidence. In my mind, there's no reason why she wouldn't want to do this. So in my mind, all I'm doing is saying, hey, this is something you should think about doing. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna get this stuff for you for free. Anyway, play with it more. I've gotta go help somebody else. And it's like a just saying, and I'm out of there, super casual. Now I'm leaving her with not this pressure of answering me, but also having it go in her head going, I'm wondering about that. I wonder what she meant about that, or whatever it is. So there it is. Walk away, super casual, just say it. Any questions so far? Okay, I'm gonna keep moving on. So now let's talk about the group hello. During the group hello, it is really important for you to always plant booking seeds. Always. I plant booking seeds and I plant sponsoring seeds. But let's talk about booking seeds because that's what we're here to do. If I met my hostess at another trunk show, I always mention how I hosted it, how I met her. So I usually start off my group hello by thanking my hostess for having everybody there, thanking everybody for being there, and then telling everyone how I met my hostess. And I also, no matter why my hostess booked the trunk show, I tell everybody, my hostess loved the idea of a free and fun entertainment while getting friends together, right? In this busy, busy world of ours. And, like all the free stuff that she's gonna get from this is not even something she even knew about. How funny is that, right? So it's like, so I want you guys to know, by the way, this is a really fun way to get together with friends, and if you get a lot of things that you like that you're not going to get today, it is a fantastic way to get it because you'll get it for free and you'll have a great time with your friends at the same time. So however you want to plant the seed and drop the hint, it's important to let them know. So I like them to say, oh, I met her at Mariana's trunk show last year. We had such a good time. I totally hit it off with her. And by the way, you guys need to know that about me. If I like you and we're having fun, like I really want to hang out with you more and come and do a trunk show for you and meet your girlfriends too, because they must be as awesome as you are. So there's just different ways to do it. I love the whole chemistry aspect of things, but I definitely highlight the freebies that they get. Okay, so what are my notes here? So seriously, some hostesses don't even know. I have had hostesses who did not know about their hostess rewards. Even after I know I've included it, I know I've talked about it, I've given them a hostess planner, I've even told them in my hostess coaching emails and calls. It's like, truly people book trunk shows. The #1 reason they book trunk shows is to have fun with their girlfriends. And this is fun. And everything else is like gravy on top. Okay. The last time then, let's assume that the anatomy of a trunk show is you've greeted people, you've done individual styling, you've done a group hello and group styling and shown everybody the versatility of the products and they're oohing and ahhing. You can be very strategic when you're picking people during your group hello to model for you. I have found that in this business, the more you touch people, the more they like you, the more intimate the relationship is instantly. So when I touch people and I style them, there's like that instant extra chemistry between us. And I have found that typically when I pick models for my group hello, they will either host a trunk show to get that piece for free or they will buy that piece that I put on them. I don't overthink it. Believe it or not, I actually pretty much pick the same pieces up for my group hello. I typically will do the Freya fringe. I typically will do a Sutton. And I typically will do the Zoe. And then I'll pick up the Pavé Chevron, and I won't show anybody how to do it, but I will say, if you love the, Sutton and, the Transformers for Girls kind of way of doing the Sutton, I've got the same thing, but in this very delicate, in case you don't love big, huge pieces, and I'll tell them about how you can wear it backwards and forwards and mix and match and interchange every single strand and wear it alone, and there must be like 27 permutations and combination. And people love it. So I almost always sell a Pavé Chevron, and I almost always sell a Sutton. And I almost always sell a Zoe at every trunk show. Because you just can't beat that versatility. And it's almost always the people that I model it on. And then I can book trunk shows with them. So as you are strategically thinking of who to pick for your models, if you've built rapport with them and the chemistry is good, pick them. If you know you had great chemistry with 3 people, but they're all in the same social group, pick one from one social group and make sure you try and find somebody from a different social group, right? You want to increase your chances of booking trunk shows with people where they're not going to say to you, but everybody I know is right here. which of course is, by the way, not true. So not true, right? They don't all know the same 3 people. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not true. So but it's a strategic thing, and if you can do that and be more mindful of who you are picking, you'll have a higher success rate also of booking. Okay, so now let's imagine that we've gone through all that, we've done the group hello, and you're getting to checkout now, and you're checking out with your customer. At the checkout, I want to just give you a quick and easy tip about running through bases. Now, not only is this going to increase your sales at checkout, but it's also going to help you give that customer a much better personal shopping, personal styling experience. So there's going to be X amount of items, and the person's going to tell me what they want, and then the rest of what they don't want, they're going to put on their wish list. So I'm going to put those things on the wish list, right? But then when she's ready, and she tells me she's ready, not when I say, are you done? You never say to a customer, are you done? You let them tell you, okay, I'm ready to check out. But then I will say, okay, now, remember we talked about finishing the look. What did you think about whatever? So I always go over that, and I tell them, look, I really don't like it when I go shopping for something, and let's say I buy a new dress, and then I get home and I find out I didn't have the right shoes for it, right? So I just want to help you avoid that. Do you have earrings to go with that? You know, and can I show you the arm party? If you forgot to do it during group styling, or you didn't have time to get to that person during individual styling, then do it then at checkout check, right? I don't care if there's a line waiting for you. You are devoting your attention to that one person right now. So you finish the look, then you talk to her about gifting, especially right now with Mother's Day coming up, graduation coming up, First Communion is coming up, you know, so have you picked out any gifts? Do you have gifting to do? And you run through all of this the way I just did with you. You know, it's graduation time, it's First Communion time, it's end of your teacher gifts time, it's Mother's Day. Who is on your gift list that I can help you with? And then after that, I'm not done yet. If she spent over $50, I'm going to make sure, oh, by the way, remember I told you about those trunk show exclusives. Let's show you what you're going to get at half off. You can get up to, you know, one of each of these. What do you love? And I actually like to give them my opinions. Love this. You know, this one, don't even think about it. But I think you really should get this bag, get that bag. I love it. Let me show you why. The Petite Waverly, it's like, I'm so excited about it. So do that. Now you've run through all the bases. You've given her a great personal shopping experience. At final checkout, you're done. Ask for feedback. Remember I said stay curious? Don't get defensive. Now's the time to ask for feedback. Now, my questions, normally I ask questions that are open-ended, but here I'm kind of wanting to get yeses. I want her in a, you know, when everything is a yes. I just took my daughter on a mom and daughter getaway. And I know that at home I can be a little tough on them. And oftentimes, no, you can't, no, you can't. So I made my weekend a weekend of yes. My whole thing was, I'm going to say yes. When she asks me, I'm going to say yes as much as I can. It's going to be like, whoa, what happened to my mom? And blow her mind. So what you want to get from your customer is yes. So I'll say things like, so did you have fun tonight? You know, I might start off with what did you think? But then I'll go, did you have fun? Yes. Did you love the jewelry? Yes. Did you like having a chance to try it all on and figure out what you love? Yes. So I'm getting this yes, 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 yes. And then it's like, and are there other things that you wanted to get that you didn't get today? Yes. Now, most of the time we know that question, right? Because we know that they have a wish list already, but why not ask again? And then when they say yes, here's the thing. If you didn't have great chemistry with a person, but they had a great time and all those things are yeses, it's great to be able to say to that person, well, you know what? If you really enjoyed yourself and you had a really good time, you love the jewelry setup, you loved having a chance to try it all on, and there's even more that you want that you're not going to get today, I got to tell you, the best way for you to get it is to get it for free by having a girls get-together of your own. When do you typically get together with friends? Can you guys still hear me? It says my internet connection is unstable. Thumbs up if you hear me. Okay. So that's it. Like, let's say you don't have great chemistry. But when I have great chemistry with somebody, I definitely say to them, okay, I know you want to get this stuff, and I know the best way for you to get it for free, But like you and I, we're not done. Like I have to see you again. We're gonna have so much fun, and I really want to meet your friends because if you've been such a hoot tonight, I bet your friends are gonna be equally fun. So when do you guys typically get together? And I always ask with two choices. Like, do you guys normally get together for wine and, you know, girls' night out during the week? Or do you typically wait until the weekend and maybe do like a little brunchy mimosas and, you know, bagels or something like that? Or do you guys get together for an afternoon, kind of wind down the weekend on a Sunday afternoon? And if they have kids, maybe like daddy takes the kids and moms get together for a little me time. And then you zip your mouth and you wait. Because anytime you ask, you've got to zip your mouth and just wait and let that person answer you. And if she says to me, well, we typically get together, or I have a book group and we always get together, or whatever it might be, that's when you look at your calendar. And because you remember that Sandy always says, bring your open date calendars to your trunk show, have your current month and your next 2 months with you, have everything highlighted so you know which dates you want to do trunk shows. When she says to you, oh, we typically get together during the week, we love a girls' night out, you know, then I'm great, fantastic. My first available Wednesday night is next week, and then Thursday night's the following Thursday. Which one works better for you? Right? You pick the two that are closest. I've got next Tuesday and I've got next Thursday night. Which one is more fun? And you zip your mouth. The person tells you, I prefer weekends. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot harder, right? We only have 2 weekends. Weekend dates every week, so and I'm often booked on the weekends. So I'm like, well, that's going to be a little harder, but I've got this and I've got this. Which one sounds more fun? Do you like a Saturday morning muffins and mimosas, or do you like a wind down with wine and cheese on a Sunday afternoon, like from 3 to 5? So I try to paint the picture. I haven't really picked a theme necessarily, but I'm trying to paint a picture of how fun it'll be or what it would be like. And then I zip my mouth and I wait for her to tell me. And look, those dates might not work. They might be too close. She might be busy. But then if I book in tight and I give her, you know, 4 days away, 7 days away, and it doesn't work for her, then she may shoot out. But what about 2 weeks from now, or a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, right? Chances are she won't push me to June, which I really don't want right now. I'm booking April and May. So I'm going to ask, I'm going to always offer the 2 closest. And that's really basically it. Keep just offering 2 choices. Now, I will say, let's call a spade here. Like, sometimes people will not be able to give you a date right then and there. Like, I don't have my calendar right now, which is really weird, guys, because I think about everybody has everything on their phone these days, so I don't know why they don't have their calendar. So that's one of those things where I say to them, you know what, I totally appreciate that. Totally have to check your calendar. Thing is, you're a busy girl and I'm really busy as well. And if we wait, we're gonna go back and forth and back and forth. It's gonna be really hard. So why don't we pick the date that looks the best for you right now, because I am booking it up and these dates are gonna go fast. Why don't we pick the one that works best for you? And I will give you a call tomorrow or the next day, certainly within the next 48 hours, to double check and make sure it works for you. And if it does, we'll go with it. If it doesn't, we'll pick another date. How's that sound? Or does that sound fair? Right? So they usually say yes. And by the way, this is the same way that you can handle that objection when a woman says, you know, I'd like to do this, but I want to check with my friends first. I want to see what works best for them, and then I'll get back to you. Again, you want to do this sort of feel, felt, found response thing, and you want to make sure that the person knows you heard them and you understand what their concerns are. So in that typical instance, I will say to the person, you know what? I totally get it. I understand exactly how you feel. Whenever we do any kind of a get-together, we want our closest girlfriends to be there, right? Our closest posse. And I have to say, though, do you mind if I kind of give you my 7 years of experience? Now, you guys don't have 7 years of experience, but you can say something like, can I give you the biggest, best advice when it comes to this? And they'll say, sure. I mean, what person's going to say, absolutely no, I don't want to hear what you have to say. So then you can say, here's the thing, in my experience and what I know of our crazy society today, like, have you ever tried to make lunch plans with your 3, 4 best girlfriends? I mean, it takes months and months and months to plan, right? Because somebody else can't do it, then this date doesn't work, then all of a sudden a work trip came up and that had to get canceled. Isn't that what happens? And they go, yes. And I wait for them to say yes. And by the way, I'm nodding my head because when you nod your head, the other person starts to nod their head too, right? So I'm nodding my head and they're doing the same thing. And then I can say to them, so here's the deal. This is not a sit-down dinner with your best friends. This is not a wedding. We do not need every single person that's super important to you to be there. Even though I know you want that, it's really kind of impossible. We're not going for perfect attendance. So what I would recommend truly is that you pick the date that works best for you right now. We build it and they will come. Those that can come will come and love it. Those that can't come can shop online, or we can do another one and allow them to come and shop it. So, or if you really want, we can do a morning one and an evening one so that those who can come during the day can shop during the day, and then those who work can come and shop at night. How does that sound? And then that usually helps you get that date on the calendar that way. Okay, we have a few more minutes left on this, about 8 minutes. Do we have any questions? You can unmute yourselves now and ask. I know we have a brand new stylist also joining us right now, so this is probably brand new for you. And I don't even know if you have any questions for that because you haven't even done a trunk show yet. Any questions? Any questions about objections or ACs?
Hi, Sandy. This is Jody. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think you've given some really good language, and I think that's exactly what I was hoping to hear today about, you know, how not to come off as the pushy salesman or person, you know, trying to just push your things on people. Is there anything, just since we're on the call, maybe not specifically related to trunk shows, that you also think is just really helpful, kind of tying into some of the strategies that you gave us today?
You mean in terms of not being pushy?
Yeah, or just kind of planting the seed. You know, I think that's a really important, and to be honest with you, I've been to a lot of Stella and Dot parties, and I haven't seen people do that. So this is actually kind of new to me, and I've seen a lot of people not be effective. So I think what you're saying is really beneficial, and I'm just curious, as you're on this topic, if there's anything else, you know, that you think, oh gosh, I got to remember to tell them this, because your wording and the way you kind of do things, I think, is really successful.
Well, thank you. It didn't start off that way, by the way. A lot of plates of spaghetti I threw against the wall to figure out what would work. Like, a lot of things didn't work. I will tell you that over time, and also being a sales professional from the past, there are some common themes to people being successful and doing well. And one is to not actually be afraid of being pushy. I mean, if you're a pushy person, you don't even have that filter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even occur to you that you're being pushy if you're truly a pushy person. So that fear of being pushy is something I completely understand. And at the same time, you have to remember that, you know, what's your value proposition? What do you have to offer? In my heart of hearts, I wear my joy for this business on my sleeve. It's on my face. I love what I do. I think that the trunk shows I do for people are awesome. I think they are getting an amazing experience when they do a trunk show with me, because and it's not about how much jewelry I have to show. It's because I love people and I love connecting with people and I love to have fun, and I'm really casual and funny and joyful, and even when I'm not feeling that way, whether I'm feeling sick or there's been some negative stuff in my personal life, I don't bring it to the trunk show. At the trunk show, I look at it like it's my stage, and I am going out there and getting the Oscar of a lifetime. And I am going to channel that happy, awesome, energized person that people want to hang out with. And I want to show people that I have a genuine interest in them. And so in doing that, and just talking about it, I mean, I plant seeds like, aren't you having fun? This is so fun. Like, if they weren't thinking it was fun, I'm telling them it was fun. And then, you know, we're just like keeping it lively. If my hostess doesn't turn on music, I'm like, can we put on a little music? Everything's more fun with music. And she picks the jazz, you know, the jazz station or something, like, I have to think quick. And sometimes it's music I play on my iPad because I can't stand what music they're playing. But I know what keeps a party fun and uplifting and happy. And that's what I bring to the table. And I truly believe that people who come to a party, a Stella and Dot one with me, will walk out the door having a pep in the step. Like they will have more fun walking out and be happier walking out than when they walked in. And that's my goal. I go into every trunk show with, you know what, mission accomplished if people leave happier than when they walked in. And it doesn't matter whether they bought something or not, because then they will have nothing but great things to say about Stella and Dot and about me. And you never know, because it's really a word of mouth business, right? It's the impression you make on people right then and there, and it's what people say about you afterward. So I just want people to have great things to say. And so that's what I've done. And then in my day-to-day life, I have never shied away from talking about Stella and Dot. And when I was in your shoes, Jody, and I just started, people would ask, people always ask you when they see you, hey, what's new? What are you doing these days? You take your kids to the park, they ask you, you're dropping them off. Hey, how are you? Like, I didn't take the how are you to say, I'm great, how are you? Like, I really told them, oh my God, I'm so excited, I'm doing fantastic. I just started a business, I was so nervous, but I love it. And then they're like, what'd you do? I'm like, I started a business doing Stella and Dot. Do you know what it is? It just engages people in the conversation. But if you go at it with hesitation and worry about what's this person gonna think of me if I bring it up, do they think I am just having a conversation with them for this? Like, is it, mercenary reasons? Then you're gonna come off that way. And even though, Jody, you may not be saying the words that show a lack of confidence, but just your body language, your facial expressions, how you hold yourself, your tone of voice will already give that off. And people make their decisions. 20% is only based on what you say. The other 80% is that emotional channel. So it's like rock that confidence even if you're not feeling it. Does that help?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I also did make it a point, really, and it's so funny. It's really funny now that we have this whole program that we're calling the 2242. And the bottom line is that if you reach out to two new people, right? Not the same, but 2 new people a day, and then you have to follow up with them another day. But if you reach out to 2 new people a day, the idea is that in a 5-day work week, you will have reached out to 10 people, which should get you 2 online orders probably, 4 trunk shows per month, and then 2 new stylists on your team, if you do this consistently. So it's not like heroic efforts and then you do nothing, but it's just having easy consistency. Well, funny thing about this is I think back to the beginning when I first started my business, and I made that point. I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell 2 new people a day about Stella and Dot. And it's weird, but like we've just gone back to the basics of when I started, and it's working superbly for people. So that's my other thing is, we all have busy lives, but if you carve out time for Stella and Dot, it will repay you. That's it. Any other questions? We're almost done with our time. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this worth your while, and I can't wait to announce our next Zoom topic. Thanks again, guys. Bye.